And we are live. What's going on, YouTube? And welcome to Goal Line Hockey Live. It is Kevin Forte. What's going on, guys? Apologize for being a little bit late. We've got a new setup here at the Fortress, so hopefully you guys like the new setup. So a lot has gone on since the last time we talked. So there's a lot we have to get to. Probably the most surprising thing, honestly, is the Toronto Maple Leafs were down 1-0 in that crazy series in game one. And since then, they have a 3-1 lead going into, I believe it's tomorrow night's game in Toronto. I got to say, honestly, I'm definitely interested to see what happens in that series. Tampa is going home Thursday. We'll see, Zach. I know you're a Leafs fan in here. I know you take a lot of heat, but man, this could be the year. Now, here's the problem. I've already seen the Boston fans are taking notice, and they see the Leafs potentially going to the second round, and all their chirping is they can't get past the Bruins anyway. So even if they get past the first round, do they really think they have a chance against Boston? And honestly, if the Leafs are to somehow go on a miraculous run, I think they need to go through both Tampa and Boston. They have to slay these Dragons. No bullshit. No, oh, they had an easy first two rounds. Oh, they had an easy playoff run to the final. No. If you want to get to the Stanley Cup, if you want to win a Stanley Cup, you got to go through the toughest teams. And I think Toronto is the most prepared for that. But we've seen this story before. I'm not ready yet. Until that buzzer goes and the Leafs have won this series, I cannot count out Tampa. You can't. We know what Tampa's been here for the last how many years? I like how things are looking for Toronto. I like that they're changing the narrative a little bit, but it ain't over till it's over. But I will say that. Yeah, that's true, Zach. Nobody has a chance against Boston. And even you're seeing that right now against Florida, who's actually played fairly well. It's a tough matchup for anybody, just how good Boston is. Mind you, this is without Bergeron. This is without some of those other guys that have been a little banged up. So this isn't even a fully built up a roster yet. No, I did not, PJ. I did not move. I just changed the scenery up in my room. So I just changed things up. So no, we are not. I did not move. Just a little changing up of the scenery for you guys. This is originally where I used to make videos. If you guys go back to I want to say 2020 when I made videos, this is where I used to make videos. So this is kind of a throwback for me. And I kind of like the way it's set up. So I might stick to it. But I want to know what you guys think too. Yep. What's going on, Luis? He's in the chat. The Wild would probably be up 3-1 right now if they kept Gustafsson in. Yeah, they should have won game two. I think they lost a little bit of momentum in that game two, putting in Fleury. It wasn't all Fleury's fault. I wish. Oh, Urban is in here. Okay, so what do you guys think of the Foligno thing? The Marcus Foligno has been chirping off at the refs, and rightfully so. He had two penalties in game three that were, to say game four, to say they were suspect is an understatement. They were not good penalties. And then next thing you know, all of a sudden we're looking at a spot now where he's now out of the game. Last time I checked, I believe he got ejected for a questionable knee hit. But yeah, so Urban says it was a trip, not a misconduct worth a penalty tonight. I agree with that. I think it was. The problem is it's the problem with Foligno is he's running on emotion right now. You can tell. And I don't blame him. Rightfully so. He's frustrated. He should be. But the refs were already on their way trying to get into Foligno's head. He was very blatant. He was very blunt about what he thought of the officials after game four. And they kind of targeted him, and he kind of gave them an opportunity right away. So, yeah, he got ejected 2 minutes in. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are saying some pretty good stuff in here. Yeah, Tampa owns the Panthers. This is the ideal situation. If Florida were to somehow beat Boston, I'd like to see them play Tampa. If Boston ends up winning that series, I'd like to see them play the Leafs. So ideally, there is an ideal matchup in the second round for the Atlantic. I'd like to see the Battle of Florida again, Tampa, Florida, or Boston, Toronto, and nothing else. No other weird mixes there. I don't want, listen, not that Toronto, Florida would be a bad series or Boston, Tampa wouldn't be a good series. It's just not the same as the other two, right? There's definitely more of a rivalry between the other ones. I don't know about that. The future of the Panthers is trash. I get that, PJ, a little bit. And thank you for joining because you've been pushing me, man. PJ's been pushing me. He's been saying, "Listen, Kev, when's the next live stream?" So shout out there to PJ because he's definitely been a factor in us having the live stream tonight. Yeah, Luis, listen, man, you guys are in a tough spot. And shout out to Alex Lyon. Like for the first couple games he held in there, he did what he could do. The key thing right now for the Florida Panthers is Kachuk. If goaltending can hold up just enough and Kachuk can go on some kind of run, piss off those Bruins. You saw what he did the other day against Pasternak, right? Getting into Allmark's head a little bit. That's perfect. Play the line, but also don't cross the line to the point where now Kachuk gets suspended or is taking stupid penalties. You want him on the ice as much as possible and in the head of the Boston Bruins. That's the ideal situation for Kachuk. Watch us come back and win 3 in a row and win the series. I don't doubt that for a second, Luis. As you know, some people may say, "Oh, you're kind of..." No, honestly, the Panthers have a very veteran team, right? You look at the guys like Bennett, Kachuk, Ekblad. There are some really good veterans on this team that, and even the Stalls, both the Stalls. Like this is a team that, in all honesty, there is a lot of meat and bones to the Florida Panthers. I would not want to play them in a playoff series. I know everybody's saying they just snuck in. They were the second wild card in the East. But listen, you didn't get there because you backed your way in. Florida played some very good hockey down the stretch, and they kept teams like Buffalo and Pittsburgh and Ottawa from making the playoffs because of the way the Panthers had played. So, that's definitely something to consider. You guys, some of you guys are hating. All right, I get it. But it's definitely pretty funny. Zach said, "I'm surprised that the Islanders are winning, but don't count out the Hurricanes. They are a good team." The only reason I like the Islanders in this game, and guys, I did go to the albatross of a game 4 at UBS on Sunday, and that was a brutal game. Really tough officiating early in the game. It was a weird Parise penalty. Then the rightfully so. They're securing the brick for the UBS arena. That's cool. I lost my train of thought. And then the Pulock penalty, which is a fair 2-minute penalty, but now it's a 5-on-3. And that's the only real action Carolina had in the Islanders' end for the entire period. And you get to the second period, you had another tough call at the end of the first with Matt Martin, another power play goal for Carolina. And I hate to say it, when Carolina is up in a game, it is so hard to beat them. They just suffocate the life out of you. And, to be completely honest with you, they play under Rod Brind'Amour. They play extremely similar to the 2020 and 2021 playoff New York Islander teams. What's going on, USA Hockey? How's it going, man? What's up, Toe? Welcome to the chat. So, kind of how I look at the Islanders situation tonight against Carolina is kind of an uncomfortable situation because the Islanders really haven't been in this position in this series. They've either been tied or down in the third period. If the Islanders have a lead, I like the Islanders' chances tonight. Again, you can never guarantee anything, but I'm a lot more confident tonight than I've been going into the third period of any of the other 4 games this series. And maybe I've jinxed it, but we'll see what happens. What's up, Shaka? No, we do not have a new studio. And like I said this earlier, this is actually a setup I used to have when I started the channel. This is where I used to have this backdrop, a little bit different. I'll probably mess with it a little bit, but a nice big flag in the middle. But yeah, this is our setup. So it's the same studio, same room, just a different angle for you guys, which I thought would be kind of nice, right? A little bit refreshing. Yeah, Shaka remembers. Shaka remembers those days when I started the channel in 18, 19, and 2020. Yeah, so that's a really good series. I got to say, though, this Dallas-Minnesota game, I'm really excited for this one because we've seen a lot of stuff. I mean, the stuff with Ryan Suter, the stuff with Matt Dumba, Like, there is a lot of bad blood between those two teams. And as much as the Islanders and the Hurricanes have been kind of grumpy and cranky with each other, I got to say, on the West Coast, that is definitely the series to watch right now. Edmonton and LA is a little bit different. They're a little bit more high paced, high scoring action. That's been a really good series as well. There's just, guys, nothing can beat the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. There's just nothing better. There really isn't. You have basically 3 or 4 games a night, every other night. How much better does it get than that, right? What kind of music do I like? I like my hard rock from the 80s and a little bit into the 90s. I like my hard rock, AC/DC, Metallica, all that kind of stuff. Van Halen, that kind of stuff. I do like some rap music, more of the modern rap music stuff. So Toronto sucks. Austin Matthews will leave soon. Zach, PJ is just trolling. PJ is the troll in our chat, but he's our troll, so we like him around. We love PJ. Mike Pelk says the first round is also exhausting when it coincides with the NBA first round. Mike Pelk, the only problem I have with that is I do not watch the NBA. I got to be honest. I know that the Knicks are up. So I like just from an outsider from living in New York, I know that, but that's all I really know about basketball. Yeah, PJ, that was huge. Today, the Flames signed a new arena deal. Hopefully, this one fares a little bit better long term than the last one, where it unfortunately did fall through. So, things didn't work out with the last one, with I believe it was the mayor and, the inflation with the pandemic, and things just were not in the right direction for Calgary. So now they've redeveloped the plan, they've restructured it financial wise. So I think this is really good for Calgary. I want to see them stay in Calgary. I don't like the Canadian teams all that much. I will be honest. I'd rather see that if it was a Canadian team versus an American team in the Stanley Cup final, I'm going with the States, man. I got to go with my, the red, white, and blue. But nonetheless, I think it's good for hockey that Calgary has a team. A team in Western Canada to rival the Edmonton Oilers, I think, is extraordinarily important. And that's the Battle of Alberta, man. Like, we need that in the NHL. Yeah, I think there was actually a couple of arena renderings. It was very few. I think there was only 1 or 2 pictures. And I gotta say, I'm watching the Islanders, so the third period's on. Sorokin has not looked good in this first round. I'm really disappointed with how he's played. I think he's really should have given the Islanders a chance to win game 4, but again, he gave up 5 goals. Like, I know the Islanders got some tough breaks with penalties and things like that, but they're even in game, I think, what was it, game 2 where Carolina won in OT? Like, Sorokin's got to have that save. I know it was a tough break with Mayfield, but that's a shot that Sorokin's got to have. He's just looked a little bit off. PJ says the Islanders should play Varlamov. I don't know. The problem is now at this point, Varlamov, when's the last time Varley, started a game? I believe it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So that's a little bit rough to do something like that. But to each their own. He's a good goalie. And then people are starting to say, well, now that you kept Varlamov, you could have sold him at the deadline. Why didn't you just trade him for assets? If you weren't going to use him, why not at least trade him to get something for him, right? If you're not going to play him down the stretch. I hate to say it, come playoff time, God forbid there was an injury to Sorokin, I'd be a lot more comfortable right now not getting a second-round pick for Varlamov than trading Varlamov on a playoff run. I'd rather take my chances on that second-round pick for Varley or first-round pick, whatever it is. I'd rather keep Varley on the island for this playoff run. Yeah, Shaka brings up a really good point. He said even the save Sorokin has no chance on, he still finds a way to make the save. Exactly. That's a really good point. Zach said Sebastian Aho has got some good looks, but just can't beat Sorokin. Yeah, Sebastian. Yeah, Aho's. Listen, I think he's leading the Hurricanes in points right now. What's your favorite food item at UBS? Ooh, that's a good question. I gotta say, listen, it might not be my favorite thing, but I get it every game. So it's not necessarily my favorite, but it's something I get a lot, is the Islanders ice cream. It's blue and orange ice cream orange and blue sprinkles, vanilla ice cream with Oreo, like crushed up Oreos on top in an Islander helmet. Not much out there that can beat that. So maybe that's my sweet tooth kind of bias there, but that is my pick for the best food at UBS Arena. PJ wants me to go up to Edmonton to chirp the Oilers fans. Now I'm not sure if you guys heard what happened. Apparently in LA, there was a girl wearing an Oilers jersey, and she went to the bathroom, the women's bathroom, and I don't know if it was Make a Wish, but it was something to that. Well, like she has cancer, and she her dream was to watch the Oilers, so she goes to the game in LA, and apparently Kings fans in the bathroom spit on this little girl. How messed up is that? It's crazy. And then worse, it somehow gets worse, PJ, because then there's people online actually saying that they're justifying it, saying that, oh, there's so many asshole Oilers fans that we have to spit on little girls. It's like, whoa, bro, like chill out, man. Some of you people, man, I swear to God, I hope it's none of you here in the chat, but some people are just like whack. Even with the Islanders series with Matt Martin, they were calling, Matt Martin like a cuck and his wife is whatever. They hope they get divorced. Like people, the internet is messed up, man. And honestly, Martin did something really nice at the end of warm-up today with all the, the Hurricane fans kind of attacking him and booing him. He threw a puck to a Canes fan when he got off the ice for warm-ups. That's the kind of guy Martin is, setting a good example. That's the kind of shit. That's why Matt Martin has been an Islander for so long. He's got his cheap moments. He had the real moment that he's really, I would say, gained his reputation was that Pascal Dupuis sucker punch, which was in what, 2008, 2010. And let's be honest, Pascal Dupuis deserved that. There was a lot of issues with the Islanders that season. They were laughing off the ice when DiPietro got knocked out by Chad. Who was it? Kent Johnson was the goalie. Dupuis knocked out. I believe he's still in the NHL. Blake Como. It really was not a good look. So other than that, Matt Martin, for the most part, has been a pretty good player. Like in terms of reputation, just people love to hate him. That's kind of what it comes down to. I agree, James Farrell. He should not be back next season. He's from a different age. And honestly, he was never a good skater. And the skating is so good today. He looks like he sticks out like a sore thumb really bad. He's just not the type of player he used to be. I love Matt Martin, but he's not what he used to be. What's going on, Ange? Thank you for joining us. That's true. He doesn't wear a visor. He's one of the few guys in the NHL that does not wear a visor. Luis said he saw a fist fight between a Boston fan and Panthers fan at the arena. That's lovely. Unbelievable. Yeah, Martin on the Leafs. That was kind of interesting. Apparently the Islanders, the Leafs, and the New York Rangers were the final three teams on Matt Martin. So in an alternate universe, not only did Matt Martin go to the Leafs, he potentially could have gone to the New York Rangers. How crazy would that have been? That would have been very, very interesting, and probably would change the way I think of Matt Martin today here in 2023. So we'll see. Yeah, Urban, I got to say, the Minnesota Wild, listen, I hate to say the reps are screwing certain teams, but the stuff with Foligno, it's ridiculous. It's really, you could tell the officials are just, they were going after him, honestly. It was kind of funny, though, but it definitely sucks. Yep, O'Reilly doesn't wear a visor. Somebody else doesn't wear a visor. You guys will let me know. Is it? No, Luke Shen does. There's another defenseman. I don't remember. He might be on the Leafs. There's another defenseman that also doesn't wear a visor. Lucic doesn't wear one. I think Bailey's going to get bought out. The fact he hasn't played in the playoffs, I think he's done. I think Bailey has played his last game on the New York Islanders. I think that's it. Jamie Benn's another one. Yep. I like Paul Murray though, James. I don't know. The problem is he always gets injured. That's the problem with Palms. I really like him. Clutterbuck, I agree. I think he's very similar with Martin. Like he looks gassed. He's played a lot of hockey. I think that mileage is kind of catching up to him. Now, the other reason why I think we're not going to see Lucic come back to the Flames, apparently he changed his Instagram profile. So he had the Flames on it and stuff like that. And he took the Flames off of his profile. So that if you need more credence, that might be the nail in the coffin for Luch in Calgary. I have to be honest, the Islanders would take Lucic. That is such a Lou Lamoriello thing, but depending on what happens here, Lou Lamoriello might not be back for the Islanders. He is in the final year of his deal. So there's a lot of questions right now with the Islanders. Is Lambert going to be back next year? How much of this roster is going to be back next year? Does Lou come back next year? There's a lot of things that the Islanders' future is not certain. I'd like to be more optimistic, but they have a lot of guys that are a little bit older, have some mileage, and long-term contracts. So I do have my questions about how this could all work out. Honestly, I think we're seeing right now with the Horvat situation, I actually feel bad for Horvat. I know, listen, he's got to find a way to get it done. But the way the Islanders play, it's all Barzell on the power play. And they don't do that bumper guy in the middle of the ice. And Horvat did that for a little bit when he started with the Islanders, and they kind of pulled them away from that as more of a perimeter guy. And it doesn't work. Horvat is not that type of guy. All his goals in Vancouver are in that bumper spot. And he would have been a great fit in Colorado if he ended up going there, because very similar in a sense that Colorado loves to use that bumper spot. And Horvat would have fit a lot better in their offensive system. Yes, I do have the Discord, Urban. Yes, shoot. Hold on. Let me see if I could pull it up. If not, I do have the Discord set up though, guys. I'll probably put it in the community. So stay tuned for that. But I did actually set up the Discord, so stay tuned for that. What the hell happened? Andersley almost put it in. No good though. Yeah, Korpisalo was a great trade for the Kings. Yup. That was a great deal for them. And, the Gavrikov thing is nice too, but I think it was really, really important for them to get a goalie. And listen, I love Jonathan Quick. I wish he could have ended his career in LA. Let's be honest, though. Like right now, where would the Kings be with Jonathan Quick playing the way he was? I'm going to be honest with you. I think they made a good move there. The fans were upset. The team was pissed, but they might get past Edmonton here because they made that trade. So take with it what you will, but looking right now, it looks pretty good for the Oilers and the Kings. And somehow Stuart Skinner is having a great year, and Jack Campbell, he played great the other night, but I still like the Kings in this series. I might be changing my pick. Honestly, I kind of like the way they've been playing. They can score a ton of goals. They make you pay. And if they can find a way to shut down Draisaitl, it hasn't even been McDavid. If they can shut down Draisaitl, this might fall into the hands of the LA Kings. I didn't hear about that. Where did you see this? USA Hockey, what are you talking about? You need to give me context on the quick trade or something else. I would have thought that would be all over the place. I thought the Islanders might have scored here. Oh, man, that was close. I really hope your team doesn't go home. Well, Zach, either way, they're going home, whether they win or lose, because game 6 will be on Long Island. It's just a matter if they're playing another game after tonight, which hopefully they do. I mean, listen, guys, the dream situation for an Islanders fan, all right? You beat Carolina, you find a way. I'm really still not sold. I'm not giving up. I'm not getting my heart broken for the Islanders to somehow win this series, but it's possible. If they find a way to win, then they play the Rangers. They play the Rangers in the second round, they win. The Leafs beat the Bruins in the second round, and then we see John Tavares playing the New York Islanders in the Eastern Conference Final. So the Islanders would have Carolina, okay, beating the Rangers and beating the Leafs in the conference final. Tell me that is not the most perfect situation for the New York Islanders. Again, they still got to get past Carolina, but oh man, that could be really, really good. And yes, Luis, we didn't talk about that series because shout out to Akira Schmid. He has come in and taken the starting role from Vitek Vanacek. He got in a really bad situation. The Devils are basically on life support in game 3. They blow the first 2 games at home in New Jersey, 5-1 or 5-2, whatever the score was. Vanacek looks terrible. And next thing you know, all of a sudden we are talking about how the New Jersey Devils have tied the series. Jack Hughes is like mocking the Rangers fans at the Garden, and Akira Schmid coming out of nowhere, coming from like a farm in like Sweden or Switzerland, is all of a sudden this monster goaltender that's like turning things around for the Devils. It is incredible. It's a great story, and that's why they play the games, right? The Rangers didn't clinch the series. They were up 2-0. It didn't necessarily go as quick as they thought it would. Shots on goal are good in this game. That's right, James. As long as they're from the outside, it would be fine. Rozer, welcome to the chat, Rozer. He said, would love to see my Leafs versus your Islanders. How pissed off would everybody be? Listen, everybody would be pissed. If you don't follow this channel, the idea of the Islanders, a team everybody hates, right? They play boring hockey, this and that. They get to the conference final, and let's be honest, everybody other than Leafs fans hates the Leafs. So Leafs and Islanders, every other fan base in the entire NHL would be reeing. They would be so upset to see that. And Islanders and Leafs fans, I think, would be okay with that. That would be a pretty sick series. The Islanders fans would be all over Tavares. Oh, for sure. Yeah, see, that's the problem though, James, right? If the Islanders did get past the first round and they had to play the Rangers or the Leafs in the second or third round, if they lost, it would be really bad. Especially the Rangers. Like, I would never hear the end of it living on Long Island and going. I couldn't go to a Ranger Islander game at the Garden again. Like, you don't come back from that very quickly. If that happened, oh man. PJs, you're about to eat your words soon. That's funny. Yeah, no, PJ likes to go at me because I know there's a couple of Leaf fans in here. But yeah, PJ likes to say, is Tavares your favorite Leaf and things like that, trying to troll me. And I'm like, listen, I'm indifferent. I don't care either way. Like, listen, I get it. He's got a family. He grew up cheering for the Leafs. I'm more upset by the incompetency of the Islanders management to not trade him ahead of time. And that's Garth's, listen, maybe that's my way of rationalizing it away. But who knows if Tavares is still on this team? Garth knows the GM, right? Would the Islanders have gone on those 2 runs in 2020 and 2021 if the Islanders kept Tavares? I don't think so. I really don't. So we'll see. Yeah, that's true. Montreal had a 3-1 lead. They were down 3-1 to the Leafs, and And Montreal won that series. That is true. Carolina scored. Sebastian Aho. Somebody said it earlier. They can't just go out quietly. They can't. Nope. They got to make me have a heart attack. All right. Let's see what happens here. So now we got a game. So Carolina makes it a 1-goal game. Listen, when I look at John Tavares, I think a very similar player to JT was the other JT in Chicago. Is Jonathan Toews. I think Toews and Tavares were in a weird generation because they're very skilled players. Their hockey IQ is really what makes them is their main strength, but their skating ability was never that good. Like that was always their knock, right? For Toews and Tavares. And I think they were able to fall into a weird era where they were able to thrive in the NHL, but they also maybe weren't the typical electrifying player that you think of when you think of that type of player, right? Like that superstar goal scorer, right? Tavares and Toews were like a different breed of that. So Carolina gets a power play. They can't just let this game go. They can't give the Islanders, man, that is brutal. Yeah, that was a bit. No, that's a penalty by Aho. Oh man, come on. Listen, I I know Urban's annoyed, but listen, PJ, yo, if I ever started a team, I want PJ on my team because he's a grinder. He gets in everybody's head. PJ, I see. I gotta disagree with PJ on this one. Shaka's agreeing with PJ. I disagree. I think Minnesota, again, you need this team to play the way they've been. They've been a good matchup against Dallas. If the goaltending can keep up for Minnesota, I think they have a legit chance. I really do. I think Minnesota can go on a run. I'm not saying they win the Stanley Cup. I'm not saying they get to the final, but I think Minnesota is a team to watch here. If they could get past the first round, who would they play in the second round? Is it if they play Vegas or Seattle? Honestly, I think that's a good matchup for Minnesota. They could find themselves in the conference finals very, very easily. I don't know if that's exactly who they play, but you guys will let me know down below. I believe either way, honestly, even if it's Edmonton, LA, I like Minnesota in that matchup. I don't know, call me crazy, but I like Colorado or Seattle better for Minnesota. But I'm just saying, LA, Edmonton, it could be very interesting in terms of that bracket of those 4 teams Colorado, Seattle, because I'm still giving Seattle credit. It's an even series. Colorado, Seattle, Dallas, or Minnesota. Of those four teams, who comes out in that bracket? Honestly, I think it could be Minnesota. Truthfully, as crazy as that sounds, right? Colorado should be the favorite in the West, but keep an eye on those guys. I'm just saying. I'm not. I'm going to disagree on PJ on this one. So Carolina with a power play here with 8 minutes to go. Let's see. It's just honestly, it's one of those things where I'm jaded by the officials. And if you guys haven't seen that video, shout out to you guys. That video did really well. I posted a video earlier today basically talking about the officiating, and a lot of you guys were very vocal on the officiating not being very good across the league. And I can't imagine being like new to the NHL trying to figure out like penalties and stuff because there is such a lack of consistency. Like, try explaining an embellishment penalty or like a legit cross check or something like that. You really can't. You really can't. Like, the lack of consistency makes it infuriating as a hardcore fan to watch, let alone a new fan. I don't know how you'd explain it. Dallas in 6 for PJ. All right, we'll see. It's going to be a really long 7.5 minutes. Damn. Yeah, Urban, that's another one. Trying to explain Foligno's ejection and not Makar. Again, it seems like any given play, they're just like, I don't know. That's a 5 minute. I don't know. That's an injection. Like, PJ, I'm down for that. Let me know. We'll go to MSG and we'll chirp a little bit. There you go. So the Islanders get a power play. Oh, Sezikis. And the Carolina fans are going to boo because they got a penalty. Man, fuck off. Come on. Urban said, PJ, the Stars announced they were leaving Minnesota on my birthday. Yeah. Yeah. Urban has a good reason to not like the Dallas Stars for a very, very good reason. Yeah. PJ, you know what? He probably does want to. He probably does because they are a team that, listen, when you imagine Calgary moves to Atlanta again, PJ, you would be pissed as a motherfucker if they did that. You would hate that Atlanta team. You know you would. Yeah, exactly. Come on. I get it. I get it for Urban. I do. So a 43-second 4-on-4, which probably favors Carolina in all honesty. And then the Islanders get a shortened power play, like a minute and 20 seconds. So we'll see what happens here. This is a pretty big stretch. Shaka, did the A's officially move? I didn't know that. Is it official? Are they going to Vegas? Good job, Sorokin. Oh, so it's that close. All right. And Shaka's out on the West Coast. He's a San Jose Sharks fan, so he lives in that area. So I would say Shaka, out of anybody over here, has got the most credibility on that. All right. So we'll see a team in Vegas. That actually would be pretty cool. That would be very cool. I would love to go to Vegas to see, like, yeah, see, the problem is you can't catch them all in the same season, but I'd love to go to a Golden Knights game. Maybe a Raiders game. I know they're kind of douchey, but I'd like to go to a Raiders game. And honestly, I would like to try a baseball game in Vegas. That would be pretty sick. Louis says Eric Cartman says LA Kings are going to win. Of course he does, right? No bias at all. Which I think the irony in that whole thing with the whole South Park thing with the Kings is I'm pretty sure they're based out of Colorado. So technically they should all be Colorado fans, right? Cartman and the rest of South Park should be Avalanche fans, but I digress. What do I know, right? Yeah, Shaka, that's true. The Jets. Shout out to the New York Jets picking up Aaron Rodgers today. So we'll see what happens there. I've never seen a good quarterback in New York for the Jets. I saw Sanchez for 5 minutes, and that was about it. So we'll see what happens. I'm not looking too far ahead on this yet. What's up, Morgan? Welcome to the chat, Morgan. What's up? Yeah, I know Shaka's excited. Shaka's excited to see Aaron Rodgers. We'll see what happens. PJ would trade Toffoli and Vladar for draft picks. See, if you're keeping Darryl Sutter, I understand trading Toffoli, but Toffoli is a good hockey player, man. I don't know. That was one of the few bright spots for the Flames. Do you really want to trade that guy away? I don't know. So 4.5 minutes, and the Islanders trying to close this one out. This is a good hockey game nonetheless. See if the Islanders can finish it up. Shaka said, "Did the Bruins trade Swayman? Cap hit is too high to keep both Allmark and Swayman. I think the Sharks could maybe reach for him." I could see that happening. What's funny about that, wasn't it Martin Jones? The Kings had Martin Jones, and they didn't want to trade him to San Jose, right? The Sharks put in a bid for Martin Jones, and they said, no, we're going to trade him to the East Coast for less value. So the Kings took less of a package, sent him to Boston, and then Boston immediately flipped him a couple of days later to the San Jose Sharks. So we've seen the Bruins and the Sharks make trades for goalies in the not too distant past. So maybe we see that again. We'll see. Yep, I think I got that right. Sharks got Martin Jones from Boston. That's right. Yeah, so it's not the exact same scenario, but you get what I'm saying. We've seen those two teams trade for goalies, and the Sharks went on some good runs with Martin Jones, right? We've had a good turnout tonight, guys. Thank you so much. We currently have 13 people in the chat. Guys, make sure to like the video. If you've not liked it already, make sure to like the stream. Sharks are bad too. What a horrible return from Meyer. Shaka's just trying to get under everybody's grill, man. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Morgan. Aaron Rodgers, Winnipeg Jets legend. That's right. So we are in the final 5 minutes. Islanders with a lead. They had a 2-goal lead in the third period. They gave up one to Carolina. So this is going to be a nail biter here in the final 4 minutes and 40 something seconds. It's going to be a good hockey game. This will be interesting to see if Sorokin can finally steal a game for the Islanders in this series because they kind of need him to. Thank you so much for the likes, guys. You guys are the best, man. I can always count on you guys. You guys are the best. So Jordan Stahl and JG Pajot in the faceoff dot. And listen, guys, if any of my Islander fans out there, we went to that game 4 on Long Island. That was a brutal game. And listen, around here, we don't use the Emerald parking. If you've ever been to UBS Arena, we don't use that. We use the parking garage. The Emerald parking is brutal. It took us over an hour to get out of the parking lot. I was brutal. Brutal. But I got to go. So I guess it was worth it, even though they got crushed. But so let's see. Can the Islanders find a way to take this game? And I think it would be a lot more a lot more respect to the Islanders winning a game in Carolina like this. And even if they lose in game 6, like I'd be like, all right, at least the Islanders were able to find a way to win a game in Carolina, but we'll see. They got to close this out. Yeah, we're going to watch the Wild Dallas game after this one. But hopefully this game ends in the next 4 minutes so we don't have to worry about OT. Nice. Good hit by Romanov. That's what you need. No way. Carolina scored. All right. Thanks for letting me know. At least I know. Oh, I don't know if that's PJ just messing with me, man. I don't know. PJ, not funny. And now if they actually do score, PJ, I'm going to be pissed at you, man. This is going to be on you, PJ. I'll let the Islanders know it was PJ's fault. Thank you, Surreal. Thank you for joining the stream. PJ, I'd be positive, but listen, I've been through this Islanders team when they went literally my entire existence on planet Earth over almost 2 decades of not making the playoffs and winning a series. So I am very jaded in terms of watching this team and what they're capable of. In 2020 and 21, it was like a lucid dream for me. I had to keep reminding myself and touching myself. Pause. I don't mean it like that, but oh my God, Carolina almost scored. I really had to remind myself, like, this is real. The Islanders are actually going on a run. It was incredible. Absolutely incredible. And 2 years in a row, it was sick. Absolutely sick. This is very concerning right now. Shaka said, nice save. Yes. Yep. These guys look fucking tired. Oh my God. Come on, guys. Just close it out. Don't let them fucking tie it, please. Good job, Paul Murray. That's a veteran move right there. Good job. Let's see, guys. Can they close it out? Let's see. $58 seconds left. Carolina wants a penalty. Get out of here. That's not a penalty. No way. No way. They better not. What's going on, Tommy Carr? Yeah, the score is still 3-2 Islanders. It's a close game, though. Hey, what's going on? We got a super chat from Flying Fluffy Sports. Thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate that. Good stuff. Thank you so much. Nothing to say either. I love that. Nothing to say, nothing to comment. Not even a good little roast on me or anything. Just $10. Thank you so much. No way. Flying Fluffy Sports says appreciate the grind. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That means a lot, man. Thank you. It is still 3-2, guys. It is 3-2 Islanders in the final minute. So it is really, really tight. Let's put it this way. You will know if Carolina ties this game by my reaction. You will know. I can't actually show the game because YouTube won't let me. You can thank YouTube for that, but I will let you know. That's why Casey's on the team. Casey Cizikas with a huge pass breakup. And the New York Islanders steal game 5 in Carolina. And listen, there is enough Carolina Hurricanes fans out there. Yo, I'd give you the bird right now, but there's a family show. Screw you, Carolina. Screw you. There's enough of you out there that I don't like. There are some of you in the chat that I do like, but there are enough of you that I don't. Screw you. Let's go Islanders, baby. Huge, huge win. So the Islanders win 3-2. It's a 3-2 series for Carolina. The Islanders with a chance to tie the series, get revenge from game 4 back at home. Screw the refs. Everyone's against you. Nobody expects you to win this series. Find a way to get a win in game 6 on home ice. Find a way to send this to a 7th game and worry about that then. But win the next game. You got to win one game 3 times. They've done it now once. Let's see if they could do it 2 more times. Call is overturned. Canes win. Ha ha. Very funny, Shaka. Very, very funny. PJ, I run a Florida Panthers YouTube channel. Oh, that's great. I didn't know that. That's cool. I'll have to take a look. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at your channel. So now we have 2 Panthers fans in the chat. We have Luis and we have Fluffy. What is it? Really good name. Flying Fluffy Sports. Flying Fluffy Sports and Luis. So there you go. You got some Panther fans now, Luis. You're not the only one. Yo, PJ, I should, right? I should be in there motivating these guys, right? Honestly, I think I'd be a better motivator than Lane Lambert. I got to be honest. I don't. He's not a very. The team doesn't look inspired when he's the GM. As when he's behind the bench. I got to be honest. There are a lot of games where the Islanders just look mentally just messed up or tired. I think, unfortunately, a lot of that has to do with Lambert just not really getting the most out of his players and motivating them enough. I don't know. That's just from what I've seen so far. So, and guys, this is a really good stream because, as you guys know, the last 2 streams, we've had a lot of problems with it, like glitching out, having some problems. And now that I've changed where we do the setup, all of a sudden, knock on wood, the stream's actually holding up pretty good, right? Let me know down below. How is the quality? Can you hear me good? Is it's not lagging at all? Let me know, guys, if you can. Damn. So Dallas is up 3-0 on Minnesota. Yeah, so it's been a really good game here for yeah, it's been a really good game for Dallas, it sounds like. They're kind of just playing very defensively sound. They've kept Minnesota to the outside, really haven't given them much. They haven't fed into the Wild's game, right? That chippy, tough to play against team. It sounds like they've really kind of turned the corner and found a way to just make things difficult for Minnesota. And I think when you look at the rosters 1 for 1, I think Dallas has the better roster. But Minnesota is just that chippy, tough team. And if they get in your head like they have, they could kind of take over that series. So we'll see. Oh, sweet. So the game just started. So Edmonton, LA. We are in the first 5 minutes of game number 5. This is a big one in Edmonton. The Kings decided to go with Korpisalo. That's their guy. But the Kings, instead of going with the guy that helped them win game 4 in Jack Campbell, they go back to Stuart Skinner, who got them to this point. So I'm a really big fan of that. Stream is running smooth tonight. Thank you, Surreal. Yep. Yeah, it seems to be doing a lot better. Dine, what up? Didn't know you were doing a live stream. Yes, I'm doing a live stream tonight. And like I said, guys, that's why you got to follow us on Twitter at Goal Line Hockey, as well as checking the community tab, having the notifications turned on here on this channel. I try and give you guys updates the second I can. But thank you for joining us, Don. Yeah, they forced a game 6 to beat the Hurricanes, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, guys, let's get up to 20 likes. Let's see if we can get to those 20 likes. We're very close. We're up to 16. Yeah, LA and Edmonton, there's been a lot of goals in this series. And listen, guys, hold on. I'm going to all ask you guys to do one thing, the 10 or 15 of you that are in here. You live with your family, significant other, whoever it is. Sneak into their YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button for Goal Line Hockey. That is your guys' homework. If you can all hit the subscribe button on whoever in your family, whoever's around, steal their YouTube account, hack into it. Okay, maybe don't hack into it. That sounds shady, but you get what I'm saying. Hit the subscribe button for Goal Line Hockey. Help us out here on the channel. So that's your guys' homework today. Yo, I got to say, the Oilers fans, I know they take a lot of heat. They're very hardcore, passionate fan base. Yo, everybody in there is wearing an Oilers jersey. It's pretty sick. And the only thing, that was kind of disappointing this weekend, I'm cheering for Vegas. I want to see them play well. But game 3 or game 4 that went to overtime, I kind of wanted to see Winnipeg win that game in the whiteout. That would have been kind of sick. But Vegas is taking firm control of that series right now. They really are. So there's no games on at the moment. We're in TV timeouts all over the place. So what do you guys want to talk about here for a second until the games come back on? Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, the Islanders listen, I said it already. I think the Islanders is a totally different series. If the Islanders can find a way, Carolina plays terrible on the road. And they just finally broke that record in game 4. I think game 6, the Islanders fans too, I think really need to just not jump on that, because I think that the Islanders team was feeding on that bad energy from the fans. I think it really hurt them in game 4. Just a couple of really tough calls early, and I think the fans kind of had a negative impact on the team from that. So I think it's the Islanders, the team just needs to play their game. We know what they can do. We know what they're capable of. They've done it before. It's just this is a Hurricanes team that is hurt. They're losing. They're missing 3 of their top 6 scoring players. Like, you got to find a way to beat that team. No Kasha, no Pacioretty, no Teravainen. That's half. That's more than that's 2/3 of your lineup in the top 6. Like, you got to find a way to win. You got to win those games without those guys in. But whatever. Yeah, PJ, that's a great question. Or a great comment. He said, "What a story! Got to give them respect." I loved how Brandon Tanev shushed the Avalanche fans in what was that game? I think it was game 2. They were up 2-0 in the first period, and he's shushing the fans in Colorado. Oh man, I love that stuff. I think that's great for the game. What do you think of the Kraken's run so far? Great OT win last night. And Surreal, what made that even sweeter was the fact that Jordan Eberle got that goal. I love Jordan Eberle. He's one of those guys that wasn't on the Islanders long enough to hate him, but he was on the Islanders during a really good run, scored some big goals for the Islanders. I really miss Jordan Eberle. His family was very nice when they left. They gave a really nice letter to the Islanders and their fans. Just really really great people in the Eberle family. So I'm really happy it's working out for him in Seattle. And He's had a lot of movement, right? He was in Edmonton for a while, then he goes to the Islanders, now he's in Seattle. So hopefully he really finds his home there with his family, and it seems to be going really well. Why did the Islanders expose Eberle in the draft? So the problem was the Islanders needed to alleviate cap space at the time because they had to re-sign. Trying to remember who they had to sign. I think they had to re-sign the first Matt Barzal contract. They had to sign Ryan Pulock, and I think they were preparing at the time, trying to create cap space to even keep Devon Toews back in the day. So the Islanders were trying to do some things in order to get the cap space, and moving Eberle $7 million would have allowed them more flexibility than somebody else being exposed. So that's the main reason the Islanders put Eberle on there. And Edmonton scores on the power play, and Evander Kane, I think. I think that's Evander Kane with the goal. So a big goal for the Oilers here in the first 10 minutes, and it's 1-0 Oilers. There you go. Oh, I know PJ's not going to like that. And Shaka. Yeah, Shaka PJ. We got some Oilers hate. I like it. Yeah, guys, let me know down below. Who do you have winning the NHL draft lottery? Who is going to get the first overall pick? I'll run the NHL's Tankathon once we hit 20 likes. Guys, get to 20 likes so I can run the NHL Tankathon. We need 3 more likes to run the Tankathon. So let's get into it, guys. Let's get it up there. The Rangers could fix. That's very good. That's very good, James. Anaheim. All right, we'll see. We need 2 more likes, guys. 2 more likes to run the Tankathon. Looking at the odds right now, Anaheim, Columbus, Chicago, San Jose, Montreal, Arizona, Philly, Washington, Detroit, St. Louis round out your top 10 picks. Yotes to win it this year. The Devils, you guys are funny, man. But shout out to the Anaheim Ducks. They pulled off the ultimate tank, going 0-8-2, losing 13 straight to end the regular season. Yeah, come on, man. That is such a PJ move, unliking the video. I assume that's what PJ did, but you guys are funny, man. No, the Islanders aren't going to trade their first round pick. They could trade next year's first round pick because they already gave up this year's. That's the nice thing, too. The Islanders made the playoffs, so I don't have to worry about the anxiety of them trading a good pick in this year's draft. Like, ideally, it's in the bottom 16, and it's kind of worked out for the Islanders. So, what's going on, Shazam? What a game, Isles in 7. You already know, Shazam. Listen, I said it earlier in the video. Guys, 1 more like. We need 1 more like. Let's hit 20 likes, and we are going to run the NHL Tankathon. I kind of said it earlier. Listen, this is a totally new series now. Carolina struggles on the road. The Islanders get back to their home ice fans, right? So, win game 6, you have a very good chance of taking this thing to 7. You've proven that you can win in Carolina on the road in a back against the wall situation. They have to do it again 2 more times. We'll see. Gut feeling who wins Friday. I really don't know. Listen, if they played the way they did, if they play Friday like they did today, very good chance. I got to say, though, in the first period, if it's 1-0 or 2-0 Carolina at the end of the first, I'm going to go with Carolina. If Carolina gets that early lead, they always kill the Islanders that way. They just suffocate the life out of this team. It is so frustrating. But if Carolina gets that early lead, it's going to be very, 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 very difficult for the Islanders to win that hockey game. Yes, I did. I'm wearing the Islanders reverse retro. Guys, we need 1 more like for the Tankathon. Who will win the draft lottery in our Tankathon? Let me know down below. You guys had some really interesting picks. So we need 1 more like. So we got the Oilers and the Kings game. It's been an interesting game. We've already got goals in this one. Thrashers, I love that. What's up, Mike Rizzo? Yeah, I did want to wear my Rangers merch. I thought about it, but I didn't. Yeah, teams that score first win. So the Islanders need to score first. Yeah, I totally agree. And the way Carolina plays, unfortunately, I don't have a Thrashers jersey. I do not. I wish I did, but I do not have an Atlanta Thrashers jersey yet. What's going on, Ali Desh? Welcome to the chat. Glad you were able to join us here on this wonderful night. No, so Ali Desh, Shaka remembered this, but this is the old setup I had back in 2020, 2019, 2020. So Ali Desh, we're taking it back in time. So instead of the setup where I had in the corner, we changed up the view. Same room, same sort of setup, just in a different location. I don't think Daryl Sutter got fired. I think they kept him. I think they went with trading. They decided to let go of Brad Treliving, and they let go of Treliving and decided to keep Sutter. So we'll see how that works out. But it's anybody's guess. Guys, like the video. If we get to 20 likes, we are going to run the NHL Tankathon. So if we could get up to 20 likes, I would appreciate that. Like I said, we're watching the Kings Oilers game right now. Really good. Oh, it is 2-0. All right. So who got the Draisaitl again? God damn, this guy is a freaking machine. Guys, thank you so much for the likes. Of course, someone had to dislike. So we are going to run the Tankathon. So Draisaitl scores for the Oilers. It's 2-0 Edmonton. Damn. Okay, so let's run the Tankathon. What do you guys got for the Tankathon? Let me know. All right, so one of you is going to be very happy in here. All right, so here's your top 5. So Chicago moves down from 3 to 5. Columbus moves down from 2 to 4. Anaheim moves down from 1 to 3. So the first, second, and third teams all move down 2 spots, which means in the lottery for top 2 is San Jose and Philadelphia. Let's turn the card over figuratively. The San Jose Sharks have the first overall selection in the 2023 NHL Draft Lottery, with the Philadelphia Flyers moving up 5 spots to take the second overall pick. So theoretically, Connor Bedard would go to the San Jose Sharks and Adam Fantilli would go to the Philadelphia Flyers. That would be a stunner on the draft lottery night. And guys, I am going to be doing a live stream that night. I think it's in the second round of the playoffs. It's a Monday night. I will be doing a live stream for the draft lottery. So stay tuned for that. I will definitely be doing that. But yes, the San Jose Sharks moving up 3 spots to the first pick, and Philadelphia moving up to the second overall pick, moving up 5 spots. So we'll see what happens. But every time I run this stupid thing, we always get some interesting results. So we'll see what happens. I'm glad I made your day, Shaka. There you go. Do you think the refs have been terrible in the playoffs so far? Don, you have to watch the video I made earlier this afternoon. One of my regular videos. I explained it in more detail, but basically, the things that I wanted to say in that video that I didn't, it kind of comes down to, try explaining today's NHL and penalties and things like that to a new fan. How do you do that? Like, there were so many, like even in the Islander game, right? Nate just kind of embellished. Barzell gets thrown into the boards, but he gets an embellishment penalty. So the embellishment rule is very weird. Marcus Foligno lays a hit but gets a penalty. So fans are like, wait, so he got a penalty for hitting him, but the other guy just hit the other guy. He didn't get a penalty. I can't imagine as a new fan. I apologize to the new fans out there because it's impossible. And there you go. Alex Iafallo makes it 2-1. Terrible rebound by Stuart Skinner. And as a fan watching the game for really since I've been born, I still can't tell you how the rules work. I still don't know how half the rules work. Half the kicking goals and non-kicking goals in the crease, it's all BS. Nobody really knows. It's so freaking subjective where there's no definitive line. Make the sport more objective and not so subjective. It's ridiculous. Even with the slashings, if you slash on the guy's stick and it breaks, that's a penalty. Well, you have these $500 twigs that are breaking basically by touching it and sneezing on it. It's very difficult to really like the NHL the way it's been going because honestly, it's really killing the product. And they're taking away the fighting and the aggressive nature of this Stanley Cup playoffs. I am not a fan of it at all whatsoever. I'm very strong on my thoughts on this, and I really, it's ridiculous. It's really bad. Refs should have blown the whistle and they were holding the puck against the boards. Yeah, and even in that game with the Lightning and the Leafs shouldn't be up 3-1, theoretically. I don't know how many of my Leaf fans are still in here, but listen, Braden Point scored that goal. That goal was taken back. Toronto comes back and wins that game. So if Tampa gets that 2-goal lead in the second period, we might not ever be talking about how the Leafs are winning this series 3-1 right now. So again, you can't blame it all on the refs. They play the games for a reason, but the refs have been getting more involved than they should. And nobody goes to these NHL games spending $200, $300, $500, $1,000 to watch Wes McCauley call a penalty that really wasn't a penalty. When a defenseman pushes the forward into the goalie, he gets a penalty, and it's a 5-on-3. And there you go. Good job, Wes McCauley. You called the penalty that wasn't. That's when I get annoyed. So I understand it's a difficult job. I get it. And that's the game, right? And a lot of times, if you're getting calls, the other team's going to get calls too. That's just how it works. And there you go. Edmonton's up 3-1. Even in this series, I've seen Oilers fans complaining, right, about the officiating. I get it, right? Easier said than done. It's easy to look back and say, oh, that's a penalty or not. But some of them, it's just the lack of consistency is very frustrating. I will say that. Yeah, that's true, PJ. Yeah, game 5 against the Oilers. I do remember that. Yeah, of course. Yeah, Rozer is still in here. So, yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you're not going to complain about it, right? But then earlier in the series, the Leafs couldn't get a freaking call in game 1, right? There was the bunting ejection. There was the taken away goal. There was the weird penalty stuff. And now, look, now they ended up benefiting in game 2. And now everything's turned out good for the Leafs, right? So, that's like most of the time they will be able to balance it out. But there are some series, Minnesota and the Islanders, it seems like it's very skewed. And that's where I get a little bit frustrated. And even in the Dallas series, right, with Pavelski, the Pavelski thing could have been a lot worse than it probably was. He maybe should, Dumba could have got suspended for that. Did I think it was a clean hit? Yes. But again, it's subjective. There's no legitimate rule to say black and white, that's a penalty or not. And that's where I get really annoyed. But let me know what you guys think. They should interview refs after the games. Oh, that would be great, wouldn't it? Shaka says, I'm a believer of you can't win a hockey game in the first period, but you certainly can lose it. If that's the Isles' problem this series. Yeah, that's a very good point, Shaka. Very, very good point. Especially against a team like Carolina. They are just so good at just clogging up the middle of the ice. The Islanders are very slow on their transitions. They're very slow coming into the zone. And Carolina's already got a freaking great wall set up. It's very difficult to get into the zone with Carolina. They're very, very defensively structured. They're very sound defensively. They're very aggressive. It's very hard to hold the puck for too long in any given spot. Carolina is extremely aggressive. It's tough to play the Hurricanes. I give credit where it's due to Brendan Moore. After the season, Jay McLean should be fired for lack of the power play. Yeah, John McLean. Yeah, he was good on NHL Network, and it might be better that he goes back to that job. I'm not going to wish anybody losing their job, but yeah, the power play has not been very good. And that's been a tough job, right? Brian Giunta was there. He got let go. A lot of guys don't work with the Islanders power play. I hate to say the Islanders need a guy that can score. Like they need that guy. I hate to say they need to dump as much money as possible this summer into getting whoever's available that can freaking score. They need more goal scorers on this team. And that lack of goal scoring is really a problem. But again, then you add Bo Horvat to the mix. That should fix it. And that's where it comes back to Lane Lambert and the lack of a good coaching system where a guy like Horvat doesn't thrive, right? Surreal says Devils versus Islanders round two. Thank you for joining us, Surreal. I really, really appreciate you joining us. And again, we'll see you on the next live stream. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, under the Barry Trotz era, the Islanders were very good defensively, and the critique for the Islanders was, well, they couldn't score. There was no offense. Well, now their offense is still very limited. It's very slightly better than it was last year, but their defense is way worse. So the trade-off there really wasn't worth it. So for the little bit better goal scoring, their defense, their identity has gotten a lot worse. And that's where Barry Trotz not being there is definitely a pretty big loss. They're going to build a new arena outside of Atlanta, Kev. Yeah, I did hear that, Don. I think that's really good. I'd be very down for that. What's going on, Nathan Gamer? Welcome to the chat. Yeah, I think Atlanta coming to the NHL again is definitely something a lot of the people in the chat might disagree with, but I think it would be good for the game, honestly. I'd like to see Atlanta I'd like to see them actually work. Um, they had no choice when they left last time. Gary Bettman would have done anything to keep them in Atlanta. It just was literally, there was no way to keep them there. That's how bad it got. But he would have found a way if he could. Um, and there's also, I believe, what did I just see today? There's going to be a new baseball stadium somewhere. I'm trying to remember where. That's going to annoy me. I saw the renderings for it today. I think maybe it was Las Vegas. Yeah, it might have been Vegas. Yeah, Shaka. Yeah, I think that was Vegas. There's some new renderings for a new MLB park in Vegas, which that would be pretty cool, right? Yeah, and I got to be honest, Lane Lambert's press conferences post game, like there's no real energy to it. Like if he's like that in the locker room, I don't blame the players for not being very motivated, you know? Chat GPT doesn't know what goal line hockey is. That's all right. We could be the underdog. That's fine with me, Shaka. Yeah, he always looks half asleep. I don't know. I guess with Lou as your boss, I guess there's never an easy day at work, but damn. Yeah, that's right, Nathan. That was a really good game. My thoughts on Morgan hooking up. Oh man. Yeah, Morgan is he's a player, man. Shout out to Morgan, man. Listen, he lives in Vegas. He's got all those girls in Vegas, man. I respect the shit out of my boy. A long-haired hockey boy. Oh man. Can you blame the girls for wanting Morgan? Damn. That's what I might have heard. It was Salt Lake City, Utah. Thank you, James Farrell. Yes, I saw something for Salt Lake City for a potential baseball team. So baseball might be having I think with the recent situation with baseball, right? They've been having a problem with the sport. I could see them potentially making some pretty big moves here, making some new expansion teams, right? Utah, Vegas. They could basically build a whole new division there. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, not Portland. I agree with you, Shaka. Stay away. Listen, I'm even a little surprised the NHL went to Seattle with their crime situation right now. Oh, Nashville baseball team. That would be sick. That would be nice. Imagine you add all three Nashville, Utah, and Vegas, 3 new teams in MLB baseball. I would love that. So it's 3-2. Again, talk about goal scoring. 5 goals in the first period between the Oilers and Kings. Damn. Yeah, Seattle looks very picturesque. It's just I wouldn't want to live there for a second. What are my thoughts on the Devils Rangers? Honestly, I think Akira Schmid coming in really changed things. The Rangers all of a sudden have a seeded doubt in their mind, and that has to be very scary because the Devils right now, Jack Hughes looks extremely confident. And if Akira Schmid, nobody really has the rule book on Akira Schmid, so nobody knows what this kid's about. He might steal this series, man. Yo, we got a super chat, $7 Canadian from PJ. Who should the Flames hire as GM? If they fire Sutter, who should they hire as coach? Okay, so I don't think they're going to fire Sutter. I think they would have done both at the same time. I think Brad Treliving is going to go to the Penguins. I've heard that rumor a lot. I made a video talking about the Flyers, maybe Emily Castange, the assistant GM of the Canucks, maybe going to Philly. That's not going to happen. Apparently, she likes it in Vancouver. But I could see the Flyers with Comcast. They might get a female GM in there, which would be interesting. I've also heard the Shiros are out there, whether it's Ray Shiro or his son. The Shiro family seems to be in the mix for the Flyers job. For Calgary, I would like to see them go a different direction in the sense that, like, would they go? I don't know what PJ thinks of this. What do you think of them picking up like an older guy, like a Jason Botterill, who was with Buffalo? I know we kind of recirculate the same names, but yeah, you don't want Jason Botterill. Kevin Weeks is GM. Okay, PJ, honestly, would you rather Kevin Weeks or Jason Botterill as the GM of the Calgary Flames? I think that would be pretty funny. Oh, God. Outers held the first period lead first in 25 playoff games. That's it. And when's the last time they scored a first period goal? You would rather Kevin Weeks over Botterill. You know what? He did kind of screw over the Sabres, so I do get that. They did. Donnell just waiting for it to get final approval. Oh, okay. There's rumors that the A's got land to build the stadium in Vegas if they don't get the stadium in Oakland. Yeah, that would be pretty sick. That would be pretty cool. I'd be fine with a team in Vegas. Yeah, Don is 1,000%. The Thrashers, the only reason that the Thrashers moved was because no ownership wanted to keep them in Atlanta. And yes, they put their focus on the basketball team, the Hawks, and really at the sacrifice of the Thrashers. And if you guys look up, there was some freaky stuff that happened in that arena too. Like I remember there was a couple times, I think it was Andre Pavlich, who was the goalie of the Thrashers, and even it happened to opposing goalies. Like it wasn't just a Pavlich thing. Goalies would go and just all of a sudden pass out in the middle of games there. I don't know, it was really weird, but there was some freaky deaky stuff that happened in Atlanta at that rink in particular, but I can't really explain it. If you guys look up videos like goalies collapsing, there is like at least 4 to 6 that happened in Atlanta during the Thrashers era, which is just kind of weird. And then you also consider that guys like Danny Heatley and Marian Hossa and Ilya Kovalchuk played there. Like there was some weird times in Atlanta. That was a very weird situation. I think the only problem with Vancouver's female GM, PJ, is I think she just recently kind of gave like a vote of confidence. Like, I'm not leaving. I like it in Vancouver. So I don't think Castange is going to be going anywhere anytime soon. Yeah, so Don, I did see the new Cardinals jerseys. I wasn't a fan of them. I didn't like them that much. I like having like the team logo and things on it. They didn't have anything like that on the jersey. I was pretty disappointed. I got to be honest. Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan of that in my book. So let me know what else you guys want to talk about here before we close out. It's already getting to an hour and a half live stream. It's been a good stream. Thank you guys so much. But I want to know what you guys think. Leave your guys' final thoughts in here. Oh, I didn't see the Twins going back to the old helmet. I'll have to look at that. Thank you for the super chats. I think it was Fluffy Fuzzy Sports. Check them out. They're a Florida Panthers page. They gave a $10 super chat. That was really nice. We also got a super chat from PJ. $7 Canadian super chat. Thank you very much for those super chats. It means a lot, guys. It really does. Final thoughts, I'm going to bed. It sounds about right, Urban. Yeah. Listen, I don't think it's worth the energy for the third period. It's not the Wild's night today. And Ottinger is starting to come into form, which is concerning not only for this series, but I think for the rest of the playoffs and the teams remaining in the West. Jake Ottinger finding his game is very, very concerning. Very concerning because Jake Ottinger is the kind of goalie that can steal you a couple games, and he's sort of kind of doing that right now, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens. That was my fear with Dallas, was I liked Minnesota as a matchup, but if Dallas could stay disciplined, stay out of trying to run everybody over on Minnesota, and Jake Ottinger plays like Jake Ottinger that we know he's capable of, that's going to be a problem. Not only for the Wild, but for the rest of the Western Conference. So, all right, guys, that's it. It's already 10:30 here on the East Coast. The Islanders found a way to pull out the win. Huge win for the Islanders. So it's a game 6 back on Long Island. I will not be able to go to that game, more likely than not. I'll see what happens. If I go to the game, I definitely won't be live streaming. If I don't go to the game, expect a live stream. The Islanders don't play Thursday, they play Friday night. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to like the stream. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time. Peace.